Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Thank you, KK. Phil and Rye on Listen Up. And Rye, this is huge. All right. This is really huge. Different kind of podcast, and we enjoy everybody's company. We appreciate it, each and every one of y'all. Ryan, they're probably asking Phil and Rye, what are you talking about? What is huge? Man, well, first of all, it's great to be back alongside with you. You did an incredible job on the game recap. I appreciate you a lot while I was absent. So I'm back even sooner than what I thought, and then we have the last check in coming up a couple nights from now. But Ryan, what is huge to me? I told you, I said, man, we just can't wait until the last check-in. We have to break down these first couple games of the season, Ryan. And what I like about this is so huge about this UConn Huskies women's basketball team so far this season. Let me dig into my book of tricks here, right, Ryan? I wrote down not one player, not one UConn player played over 30 minutes, according to the South Florida head coach. When I watched the post game press conference the other night after the game, although I was not able to come on. But then Ryan, also I wanted to mention to you the assist. What do you make of this? Because I had to look back, and I should have even looked back even further. I can't ever remember ball distribution up and down the roster so strong. Get it? So strong. But I mean, you talk about Caitlin Chen had 7 assists the other night, and then the only player without an assist was Caden Samuels. So to me, that's very well ball handling. They're moving the ball around a lot. Paige was efficient, right? Paige was very efficient, and that gave her a lot of much needed rest early in the season for these more bigger games coming up on the schedule. And then Ryan, in Gino's post game press conference, he said Sarah and Morgan, they made grown up plays, not freshman plays. So I thought that was very interesting. I can't wait to see what everybody says on this one in the comment section below. Yeah, Ryan. It's they're sharing the ball a lot more, and that's what I like. I think that is huge. 3-0 UConn Huskies, and I'll tell you what, Ryan. I'll leave you off with this. I also think this is really huge. Um, our subs and our viewers. Let me tell you, because I think anybody, obviously anybody out there, yeah, if they want to start a podcast about UConn Huskies basketball, they can do it. But I tell you what, I think it's very special. Everybody, hopefully everybody hears this that watches this podcast. I think what is also huge tonight, Ryan, is the people that come through for you and I. And we definitely feel the love every day and every night.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more at all. And yeah, I mean they definitely came through for the last check-ins and the game recaps, the two we've done so far. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. And yeah, excited for this one. Yeah, this is pretty huge, like you said, for the UConn Huskies. And I'm sure a lot of people are gonna agree with us. And I really do think one of the most important parts of having a championship caliber team is the team chemistry. And we've definitely seen that on full display in the first two games here. I mean, just look at all the new faces we have on the team. The three new freshmen out of high school, one of them, of course, being Sarah Strong, who's also started in both games and was named Big East Freshman of the Week for the previous week. And it's well deserved. I mean, look at her numbers. 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 4 steals, and a 65 field goal percentage. So just incredible. And of course, we can't forget about Morgan Shelley, Ali Zabel, who have played 10 plus minutes in both the games and have both scored points and contributed to the assist numbers as well. And of course, the other new face on the team, Caitlin Chen, who, like Strong, has started in both of the games, and she's had solid outings as well. 5 assists in game one, seven in game two. Hasn't taken a lot of shots, but when she did, she's been very efficient from the field. So that's four new players on the team, two of which are starters, and they've just fit into the system and the team perfectly so far. And Jana El Alfie, who of course isn't a new face, but played and debuted in her first two games this week as a Husky. She's played 18 and 17 minutes, both big numbers in both the games for points and rebounds. And like we expected, I think she's going to be a pretty huge part of this team moving forward. And the second thing I wanted to say is to dig into the stats a little bit. UConn has made 28, they had 28 assists in the first game on 36 made field goals, 20 assists on 38 made field goals in the second game. So I'd say those are pretty good numbers to start the year so far. And if it speaks to the ball movement, like we said so far, it really does. And last year at times it was kind of stagnant on offense. The ball wouldn't move at times, but I think so far we've only seen it once in the last game in the second quarter against South Florida, and they kind of cut the deficit to about 6 or 8 points. But other than that, the ball movement has looked fantastic so far. Everybody's contributing as a team, and as long as that keeps up and the defense keeps on rolling, I think we're all going to be in for a pretty fun ride this year.
All right, let's go over to Lindsay Matthews, Ryan. Name that I haven't brought up in a long time. We appreciate her coming through always. Good to hear from you, Lindsay. She said after 40 years, Gino certainly knows how to schedule from the start of the school year to the tournament. He's done this for almost 40 years. And then she goes on to say, don't forget to mention and talk about the upcoming celebration of Gino and CD coaching together for 40 years. I think it's in 3 parts. Oh, Ryan, I just saw the other day, though, according to CT Insider, I guess Gino said hard to believe, and then it goes on to say, and why he doesn't want a celebration.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You know, we know what he wants to celebrate.
yeah, we definitely do, and yeah,
Yeah.
if there is a celebration, we'll definitely have an episode on it. Probably should maybe either way at some point during the season. It is pretty incredible the 40 years, of course they've shared on this team. They came in together and really built this thing from the ground up. But yeah, Gino definitely really does know how to schedule these opponents. And yeah, I mean the non-conference schedule is always tough. Gets these women ready for, of course, the postseason games and all that good stuff. So we'll definitely see. I mean, we're gonna see it on Friday against North Carolina already with the schedule already getting tougher.
Now, look, I might be eating my words here again because I told you that they just can't do it without Paige on the floor. But now I don't want to think about life without Paige, right? But the disruptive one, Ryan, this is very interesting. He said just to hit this from a different angle. I like how the team looked today, even when Paige was on the bench.
Yeah, I think like I mentioned during the game recap, it definitely looked a lot better than the first game. So I think that was really good to see. And Paige did sit that whole fourth quarter, and she still led the team in points. But it was good to see in that fourth quarter they didn't really look confused or out of sorts or whatever. They kept that momentum rolling on both sides of the ball, and that the freshmen did a good job once again coming off the bench. We saw Morgan and Allie get to play minutes in that fourth quarter, and they both look good as well. Again, as they did in game one, had a good performance in game two. So hopefully that can keep on rolling for us as well.
All right, Grobel gave us some good recruiting updates, Ryan. We will go over them. How about BRN Soldier said if Ice can do this more often and find her place in the offense, UConn is going to be scary.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, 86 points in both the games so far, but of course we know what's coming, and North Carolina is definitely going to be a pretty challenging matchup. I think they're ranked 14th now, so it'll definitely be a pretty early test for UConn. We'll get to see kind of a little bit what they're made of pretty early in the year here. So yeah, last check-in, of course, coming up pretty quick for you guys, but I'd say on both sides of the ball, UConn's pretty much looked unstoppable pretty much so far.
All right, Ryan, we'll leave it right there. And just a quick message. Happy Veterans Day. As we express our gratitude right here on Listen Up, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Great quote by John F. Kennedy without the listen up part, obviously. Obviously, Ryan. But yeah, thank you to all the veterans and their families for your service, protection, and support. From Ryan Renner, Phil Becerra. Shout out to Austin Anita for running the sticks right here on Listen Up.